Do you ever wonder why no matter how hard you try, some people just don't respect you? It's not about your status, your job, or even your words. The truth is, respect is earned or lost by the habits you form every single day. And some of these habits are silently destroying your reputation without you even realizing it. Welcome back to Stoic Realms, where we cut through the noise and focus on timeless wisdom that builds unshakable character. Today we're diving deep into 4 devastating habits that silently sabotage your respect. Habits that even the strongest people fall prey to. If you want to command genuine respect without begging for it, then this video is for you. Stick around because by the end you'll know exactly what to eliminate from your life to stand taller, speak with authority, and earn the kind of respect that lasts a lifetime. Let's get started. Habit number 1. Over-explaining yourself. Over-explaining might seem polite, even thoughtful, but in truth it broadcasts insecurity. Every time you feel the need to justify your decision with long backstories or repeated clarification, you unconsciously tell people, "I'm not sure if I deserve this stance, so let me convince you." Imagine you say no to an invitation, and then spend 5 minutes explaining your schedule, your sleep, and your other commitments. What does that communicate? That your no is negotiable, that you're not firm in your boundaries. You've taken a simple decision and filled it with apologies and disclaimers. Epictetus, a former slave who became a respected philosopher, said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." In other words, don't talk about who you are, show it. If you live by principles, your choices need no preface. When you act from integrity, you don't owe explanations. Silence is stronger than overcompensation. Leaders, warriors, and philosophers throughout history have understood this. Strength is calm, conviction is quiet. If you want others to respect your words, stop wrapping them in fluff. Speak with precision. Deliver your message with stillness. Let people feel the weight of your decisions, not the justification behind them. But let's look further. There's something about having to explain things too much that shows fear and nervousness. The worry that someone won't understand, the fear of not being liked, the worry that someone will judge you. You shouldn't add emotional disclaimers, background stories, softeners, or a constant need for support to what you need to say. Instead, let it stand on its own. When you talk for a long time, your words lose their power. This habit often starts early in life. Many of us learned how to explain ourselves to adults when we were kids, to seek approval. People give reasons even if they don't need to, just to avoid punishment or be understood. That pattern stays with you into adulthood. We now tell people our limits when they don't need to be told. People who don't value our presence tell us why we're not there. The worst part is that we talk too much, turning our limits into nothing more than a suggestion. Imagine someone asks you to do something that isn't important to you. They might ask you to go out with them when you should be working on your goals. Or they might ask you to do something for them that you can't do right now. Instead of saying, "I'm not available," you give a 5-minute outline of your week. You talk about your sleep routine, your workload, and your family duties. At the end, you even feel guilty and say, "I wish I could, but I really can't." What does that person get? They realize that if they put enough pressure on you, you'll give in, that there are holes in your no. You feel bad about your own freedom because of this. You've turned a rule into an admission. Seneca said, "Let all your efforts go towards something and let that something keep that end in mind." Your writing needs to have a point. Your words should make it clear what you're standing for, what the limit is, or what you're deciding. Not go around and around trying to get other people to like you. You waste time and lose presence when you explain too much. You seek permission to be yourself by becoming a character in someone else's story. But you are fine to do it, not if you really stand by what you believe in. Think about the people you admire the most. The calm ones. Do they explain everything to you all the time? Or do they just say what they mean and let the silence do the rest? Everyone means what they say when they say, "I won't be there, but I wish you well." No need to feel guilty. That shows respect because it's based on being clear on the inside. A lot of the time, over-explaining sounds like this: "I'm so sorry I can't make it. I have this thing and then I have to help my brother move and I haven't slept much. I hope this doesn't bother you. I wish I could come, but it's just really hard right now." That's a one-sided speech filled with guilt and fear of being turned down. Listen to this instead. "Thanks for inviting me. I'm sorry I can't make it, but I hope everything goes well." That makes sense. That's inner strength. That person doesn't have to give the world a thesis for every choice they make. What do you do if someone gets mad that you didn't explain things well enough? That's their fear talking. It's not your job to control them. Someone very wise once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." That quote doesn't say that you have to defend, excuse, or explain everything you do. Truth can stand on its own. Honor can stand on its own. If those two things guide your choices, you can let them speak for themselves. There is a psychological cost of talking too much that isn't often discussed. It makes you tired. You lose focus and self-respect every time you go into one of these long explanations. You train your mind to look for approval from others instead of confidence from within. That makes you less unique over time. Before anyone even asks you a question, you start to doubt yourself. When it comes to partnerships, this habit is bad. Over-explaining all the time causes an imbalance of power, whether it's in a romantic, professional, or social setting. Instead of just seeing what you do, the other person judges your choices. They hold the gavel and you beg for a good decision. Life isn't a courtroom, though, and your values don't need a judge. Do you want to know who talks too much? People who don't feel like they can say no. People who think that being kind means following the rules. Stoic kindness, on the other hand, is not weakness. It comes from being clear. When you know where you end and other people begin, that is the real way to respect yourself. When you explain too much, it shows that you want to control how other people see you. But you can't change how people see things. You can only change your purpose. As soon as you accept that, you'll be free. Free from having to act. Free from having to worry. Free from having to explain away every pause. Let's be honest. Most people don't care what you have to say. They care about what you choose. They will only hear one thing. Did you say yes or no? You can give them 3 pages of reasons, but that's it. The rest is just noise in the background. Learn how to be brief. In other words, say only the most important things. And if you want to describe something to reassure, soften, or please someone, stop. Ask yourself, do I believe in my choice? Say yes only once. If the answer is yes, after that, stop. When you feel good about your own power, you won't feel the need to overperform as much. Too much explanation is just a show. Plus, the world doesn't need any more entertainers. More people need to tell the truth. More quiet. There should be more men and women who can speak just once. It should be enough. It's not about being cold. Being strict is not the point. It's about having roots. You can be nice and clear at the same time. You can be warm and strong at the same time. However, it's no longer kindness when it's used to erase yourself. When warmth is used as a reason to hide the truth, fear that looks like a nice face. In a world full of noise, being simple is strong. And when you use quiet well, it can sound like thunder. Learn how to use it, not as a weapon, but to show that you don't have to be loud to be heard. Let this be the new rule. Talk with meaning. Give up with confidence. Don't act when you say no. Don't say sorry. Just say yes. Make sure your words are clear, precise, and honest, and stop where they should. People will start to pay attention once you stop going over things again and again. Even more importantly, that's when you start to value yourself. Now, let's talk about the second habit that makes you less present and less authoritative. Habit number 2, trying too hard to be liked. The need to be liked is a trap disguised as kindness. When you prioritize being liked over being respected, you start making decisions based on approval rather than principle. You nod along to things you disagree with. You laugh at jokes that offend your values. You avoid difficult conversations because confrontation might hurt your image. This habit is dangerous because it chips away at your identity. Seneca warned of this when he said, "He who seeks to please everyone pleases no one." Why? Because people admire clarity. They follow strength. They respect someone who knows who they are and what they stand for, even if they don't always agree with them. When you contort yourself to fit in, you become invisible. You blend into the crowd of agreeable, forgettable men who fear rocking the boat. But when you choose truth over approval, when you say what needs to be said, even if it makes others uncomfortable, you distinguish yourself. Stoicism isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about being anchored. It's about leading with internal approval rather than external validation. If your compass is always pointing toward what others think, you'll never walk a straight line. But if it points to your principles, respect follows you, even from those who don't like you. The need to be liked goes back a long time, but it still grows strong today. Likes, notes, and shares have become a way for people to prove who they are. They feel like they live more the more approval they get. But it's just a trick. It's not presence to be popular. It's not respect to be loud. In Meditations, the Stoic ruler Marcus Aurelius said, "It never ceases to amaze me." We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about what they think than what we think. We give up our own opinion, which is the only opinion that should matter, in exchange for praise from people who don't live our lives, carry our burdens, or pay the price for our decisions. The person who bends over to please others doesn't have any backbone. He refuses to say no, but says yes anyway. He doesn't speak out when something is wrong. He says nice things about failure to seem friendly. He doesn't take charge. He goes with the flow of the conversation. But defiance is what makes respect grow. People will notice you when you disagree calmly, when you question clearly, and when you stand your ground in a storm of opinions. Even if they don't like you, they will respect how important you are to them. This is something that all great men have done. Diogenes lived in a barrel and made fun of Alexander the Great in front of him. Why? Because he didn't need Alexander to help him. All he needed was to be honest. That's strength. Think about Cato the Younger instead. He was known for having strong morals. He stood alone many times in the Roman Senate. He didn't try to please everyone. He didn't try to get approval. His morals drove him, even if they hurt him publicly or socially. Even Caesar, who was his enemy, admired him. The fear of being disliked is what makes us want to be liked. The Stoics, on the other hand, said that we shouldn't care about our image, especially if it goes against our virtue. Epictetus said, if you want to get better, be happy with being thought stupid and foolish. Take that in. In order to improve, grow, and raise yourself, you will sometimes look stupid to other people. People will get you wrong, laugh at you, even fear you. But if your core is strong, none of that should shake you. People don't always agree with what's right, and what's famous isn't always deep. How do you break the habit of wanting to be liked? You begin by working on being detached, not coldness, but a lack of connection. You train your mind to recognize when you're acting out of fear instead of principle. Before you talk, you ask yourself, am I saying this because it's safe or because it's true? When you respond, you build silence into them. You don't feel rushed to explain yourself when someone doesn't agree with you. You don't correct someone right away when they make fun of you. You stay put during the storm and let it go. Another important thing to do is to disagree in public without being rude. Do not be rude. Do not move. Even if your voice shakes, speak up. Stand your ground when your hands start to shake. Your back gets stronger every time you do it, and real deep respect starts to form around you like armor. Additionally, limit your time spent in places where praise is valued. Validation is very important on social media. It prizes uniformity. Get out of that loop. Don't post as much. Think more. Live your life for one person, your inner judge who has been trained by philosophy. It's not the person who doesn't have enough that is poor, says Seneca. It's the person who wants more. Also, the man who is truly empty is not the one who is hated, but the one who wants to be liked. Most people won't remember what you said to make them happy. I will remember the time you didn't give up, even though it was hard. That's how people remember kindness. Strange things start to happen when you break this habit. More people listen. They stop talking less. They pay attention to how you handle stress. Some people will hate you, but some people, the important ones, will trust you. Because agreeing doesn't make trust grow. It's built to last. How to know where you stand? Do not skip over these words. Do them often. Say no once this week without giving a reason. Don't lower your voice when you disagree. Once get out of a talk that makes you feel small. And when the pain comes, which it will, just stand still. Allow it to burn. The respectable version of you is on the other side of that burn. People today put a lot of value on being liked. But Stoics don't believe in gods. It's how they live. They keep the line. They move through the noise without making a sound. The cheers of the crowd don't move them. Instead, the steady beat of discipline, courage, and virtue does. It's not your goal to be liked. Your goal is to be impossible to ignore, to move quickly, to talk like a sword, to walk into places and leave them quiet. Not because you performed, but because you were strong. Stop doing that. Take back your power. Make people respect you. Just one line, one truth, each time, one firm choice at a time. Habit number 3, gossiping and complaining. Respect thrives in an atmosphere of strength and discipline. Gossip and complaining are the opposite. They reek of weakness. When you engage in gossip, you're broadcasting a message. I lack the power to confront this directly, so I'll talk about it behind their back. And when you complain constantly, you're saying, I've given up control. I'm just here to suffer. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome, didn't waste time in petty talk. He wrote, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. In other words, rise above it. When others are petty, bitter, or toxic, you stay grounded. You don't need to talk about people behind their backs because you're too busy building what matters in front of you. Gossip might make you feel included temporarily. Complaining might feel cathartic for a moment, but both habits create a long-term reputation of instability. People won't trust you. They'll avoid opening up around you. You'll be seen as emotionally messy, undisciplined, and unworthy of private matters. If something is broken, fix it. If someone hurt you, confront them or let it go. But don't sit in the shadows whispering about what should have been done or how unfair the world is. The Stoics faced suffering, betrayal, and loss without bitterness. They saw each obstacle as a test of character, not a license to whine. People watch how you carry yourself under pressure. If you stay grounded when life isn't fair, when people are cruel, or when plans fail, you gain an aura of respect that no position or title can buy. Master your mouth, and you master how the world responds to you. Another great Stoic thinker, Seneca, said, no man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been fooled by prosperity. To put it another way, you become soft when you need warmth. Men who whine are soft and haven't trained their minds to deal with suffering or accept that life is unpredictable. But Stoicism calls for something different. As a result, we have to take charge of our emotions. When a problem comes up, we clearly look at it, accept what we can't change, and then do what we can change with purpose. The opposite of this is complaining, which is a refusal to deal with life as it is. Think about the things you say every day. How often do you or other people catch yourselves complaining? How often does talk happen in the middle of important conversations? Even though these things may not seem important, they slowly destroy your character. Over time, they give off an air of weakness and negativity around you. What's even worse is how talk hurts relationships. People will not trust you if you say bad things about them behind their backs. People might say those same things about you one day. Stoicism tells us to pay attention to the things we can change, like what we say and do. Talking about other people when they're not there loses energy that could be used to get better. Diogenes, an ancient Cynic philosopher, was known for living with few things and not following social rules. He was known to dislike idle chatter and rumors. He thought that real freedom meant not having to worry about money or what other people thought. The talk of gossipers was just noise to him. It took his attention away from real life. It doesn't help to complain either. When you complain, you bring up problems that can't be fixed. As a result, you train your mind to think about lack instead of plenty, about problems instead of chances. Marcus Aurelius said, "The thing that stops you from acting moves you toward action. What gets in the way turns into the way." When you complain, you can't see that truth. You might think that whining brings you closer to other people, but real connection comes from being strong and vulnerable together, not from being angry with each other. When you complain, you make other people feel bad and drain their energy. People will avoid you because being emotionally toxic is tiring. What should you do instead? Find yourself when you are complaining or spreading rumors as a first step. Ask yourself, is this helping me? Does it help the other person? Does this make me look good? When they say no, you can either be quiet or change the subject. Learn how to reframe. Instead of saying, "I can't stand this job," say, "It's hard for me, but I'm learning from it." Instead of talking about problems behind someone's back, talk about them directly if it's acceptable, or just let the bad energy go without adding to it. It's not about acting like everything is fine in your life. Stoicism never said that was necessary. It calls for an honest, well-thought-out relationship with truth. It tells you to be the calm in a storm, not the storm itself. Being quiet and calm is enough to get respect. You will stand out if you are quiet, strong, and don't waste time on small talk or feeling sorry for yourself. Mastering your speech and mood will become a habit that people will notice and value. It will give you an air of dependability and honesty that people will feel deeply. Imagine a man who never complains or talks about other people. This man would face every problem with clear and cool eyes. This kind of man doesn't have to yell to be seen. People pay attention to him. His words are strong because they are few and well thought out. He is strong, not empty, in his silence. The most important thing is that this habit isn't just about getting other people to admire you. It's about respecting yourself. You get back control of your mind and emotions when you stop whining and spreading rumors. You build a base for all other traits to grow on. Your inner fortress gets stronger every time you fight the urge to talk about other people or complain. You train your mind to think about the things that are important, like duty, growth, and strength. Being a logical person in a logical world is what the Stoic ideal is all about. This change doesn't happen right away. It needs careful attention and time. But the benefits are great. You'll notice that people lean in when you talk, which means they trust you with their whole selves. There will be less noise and more peace. You'll walk with a quiet ease that makes you stand out. So let's start with an easy challenge. Don't talk about other people or complain for one whole day. Breathe, think, and change your focus. When the urge comes up, do it over and over. Make it a routine. This will put you on the road of the Stoics, where you earn respect not with words, but with the strength of your character. If you control your mouth, you control the whole world. Habit number 4, breaking your own word. This is the most fatal of all respect-destroying habits. Breaking your own word. And not just to others, but to yourself. Every time you say, "I'll wake up early tomorrow," and you don't, you lose authority. Every time you commit to a routine, a plan, a promise, and fail to follow through, you chip away at the very foundation of self-respect. Eventually, others see what you already know, that your words are light, flexible, meaningless. Epictetus put it sharply. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. In other words, declare your standards, then meet them. No excuses, no drama, no rationalizations. Men who keep their word, especially when it's hard, are rare, and that's exactly why they command respect without asking for it. When your words and actions align consistently, people stop questioning you. They trust you. They rely on you. More importantly, you start trusting yourself. Think about the kind of man you want to be, the kind who needs reminders and motivational speeches just to keep a promise, or the kind whose quiet consistency becomes legendary. You can fake charisma, you can fake charm, but you can't fake integrity. That's built one action at a time. Start small, make fewer promises, but keep every single one. Build a reputation with yourself first, because you can't lead anyone until you learn to lead the man in the mirror. Not keeping your word is more than just a bad habit. It's an attack on the most important relationship you have, the one with yourself. Keeping promises you broke is easy to think of as a small mistake, but each one hurts your self-respect and makes you less reliable, like a slow leak. People can tell when you're having doubts about your ability to follow through because they can feel your hesitation and weakness. Because they were so focused on personal control and honesty, the Stoics really got this. Marcus Aurelius was a philosopher-emperor who led a kingdom while struggling with his own doubts. He wrote a lot about how important it is to be able to control yourself. Don't argue about what a good man should be anymore. Be one, he told them. It's clear what this means. Don't just talk about your beliefs or goals. Live them. Keep the vows you make, especially the ones you make to yourself, because that shows what kind of person you are. If you break your promise to yourself, it reinforces the idea that you are weak. The story you tell yourself then affects the choices you make in the future, which can lead to sadness and mistrust. Feeling bad after breaking a promise can make you unintentionally hurt your own progress, which is a bad form of self-sabotage. You may tell yourself, next time I'll try harder, but if you don't do what you say, trying is just a word that doesn't mean anything. This is what another great Stoic, Seneca, said. What is the point of a short life if you are always putting off? Don't worry about the future. Live in the present. It's a sign of respect and purpose to keep your word, especially when it comes to personal promises. It pulls you into the present and makes you act in a way that helps you reach your goals right now, not tomorrow or next week. Think about how this habit affects the people you hang out with. There is something more important than gold: trust. When you break promises over and over, even small ones, that credibility goes down. People start to question you and not trust you as much. Eventually, they may stop including you in important decisions. They shouldn't trust a man who doesn't trust himself. It's also true the other way around. You send a strong message when you keep your promises. No matter how small or hard they are, you are reliable, steady, and grounded. Not only does this gain respect, it also has an effect. People want to be with people whose words are strong and whose deeds match what they say they will do. When your loyalty is strong, people will respect you without you having to ask for it. Another thing to think about is the peace of mind that comes from being honest. Living in line with your word cuts down on mental noise like stress, guilt, and self-judgment that people who break vows all the time experience. Your mind turns into a friend instead of an enemy. The Stoics believed that a good life starts with thoughts and actions that are in sync with each other. It was Epictetus who said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Keeping your word is the best way to show that you are a master. Your strength of will is built on the battlefield. You get stronger every time you say no to temptation or an excuse and do what you need to do. The more this strength builds up over time, the stronger your character becomes. One useful fact is that you can't turn on your ethics overnight. It's made up of a lot of small decisions made every day. It means getting up when you said you would, even if you don't want to. It means committing to work, your family, or your goals, even when other things want to take your attention away. It means being responsible for your actions without making a fuss or giving reasons. Be like the cliff against which the waves break all the time. It stands firm and calms the fury of the water around it, said Marcus Aurelius. Your word is the cliff in this picture. Your promises are the rocks that hold you up when life gets rough. When you stick to what you say you'll do, no amount of outside chaos can shake your base. But the urge to break our promise is real and always there. Unexpected problems come up in life. Our energy wanes. There is some doubt. The Stoics knew that people were weak, but they argued for strength. They thought that the important thing is not to fall further when you mess up, but to get back up right away and reaffirm your resolve. How do you actually get into the habit of keeping your word? To begin, be honest with yourself about what you can actually do. Making too many promises is bad ad for your honesty. Saying no, or not now, is better than saying yes and then failing. Promises are no different from anything else. Quality over quantity. Second, make methods and reminders that help you keep your promises. If you want to get up early, get your surroundings ready. Set alarms, get rid of distractions, and make a plan for going to bed. If you say you'll do something, break it down into steps that you can handle and set aside time for each one. The Stoics didn't depend on drive. Instead, they depended on discipline and routine. Third, think every day. At the end of the day, think about the vows you made and how well you kept them. This practice makes you more aware and responsible for your actions. If you see trends of failure, don't be hard on yourself. Instead, use that information to get better. Fourth, you should show forgiveness when you do slip up. Let's not let a broken promise lead to loss. When you wake up in the morning, think of what a precious gift it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Marcus Aurelius told himself, every day is a new chance to rebuild your character. Keeping your word has huge benefits in the long run. You make a name for yourself that lasts. You gain confidence that can stand up to challenges, criticism, and loss. The most important thing is that you become a person who is at peace with themselves and who is respected because they respect themselves first. Think of your life as a castle. To keep a word is to lay a stone with great care. Each broken promise is like a crack in the building that makes it less strong. You want to be a stronghold that no storm can damage. That's how strong this habit is. Respect isn't given, it's won by always being honest. Make today the day you keep your word and see how your life changes. Respect is not about money, fame, or making noise. It's about being clear, consistent, and having character. You lose respect when you go on and on about how you feel, when you try too hard to be liked, when you spread rumors or complain, and when your word doesn't mean what it used to. At first, each of these habits doesn't seem like a big deal, but they change how other people see you over time. What's more, they change how you see yourself. The Stoics lived through hard times like wars, exile, and betrayal, but they kept their cool and kept going. Their lack of words spoke louder than their words. People paid attention to how calm they were. People respected them for being good. Your quiet strength can help you get through a world full of noise and need, but you have to break the habits that make you less present to begin with. Do something instead of explaining. Stay true and do not follow the crowd. Pick to stay steady and not whine. And most of all, choose to be a person whose control shows that their word is law.